Terry?
I'm good. I'm going to come into the meeting live when it's our turn, if that's okay.
That would be wonderful.
Excellent. Thank you.
All right, Russ, let me know when we're good to go. Good evening and welcome to the Monday, April 26, 2021 Litchfield Board of Selectmen meeting. The board has just come out of a paperwork review. We'd like to call the meeting to order and ask everyone to please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. First we have this evening is a review and approval of consent items. We have an account payroll manifest of June 20th, 2021 in the sum of $71,461.97. And April 27th, 2021 in the sum of $232,248.65. We have a payroll manifest of April 22nd, 2021 in the sum of $54,810.95, and April 29th, 2021, in the sum of $55,011.90. We have portable radio purchase order M21-12 in the sum of $17,101.27. We have 3 veteran tax credits in the sum of $1,500. We have 1 veteran exception. We have a radio tower lease payment purchase order number M2114 in the sum of $150,889.74. We have the March Treasurer's Reconciliation, and we have Jennifer Glod Treasurer's Deposit Delegation Form. Are there any items members would like to have removed from consent? Hearing none, do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
We have a motion by Mr. Larry.
Second.
We have a second by Mr. Lynch. Do we have any discussion? All those in favor, Mr. Larry,
Aye.
Mr. LaSalle's,
Aye.
Mr. Lynch,
Aye.
Ms. Queenan.
Aye.
I am also an aye. Motion carries 5-0. Is there any other business members would like to add this evening?
Yes. I'd like to add, we need to appoint, I guess we have the availability of 2 people on the PFOA commission at the state level. One is a selectman's appoint, and the other is for the state senate president to appoint from the town of Litchfield. So I would be happy to volunteer to be the selectman's appointee, if that's all right with everybody. They meet once a month at this point, and it's all virtual at this point. So I would be happy to do that.
Okay, fantastic.
And I don't have another volunteer as far as the state senate appointee. The state senate appointee is the one that was previously held by Nikki Forty.
I believe that Mr. Brown was going to put out a notice to the public
Okay,
so we could get a citizen's representative.
okay.
So is the board comfortable with Mr. LaSalle's being our representative?
Absolutely.
We have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
We have a motion by Mr. Larry,
Got it,
second by Mr. Lynch. All those in favor, Mr. Larry,
Aye.
Mr. LaSalle's,
Aye.
Mr. Lynch.
Aye.
Ms. Queenan.
Aye.
I am also an aye. Motion carries 5-0.
Thank you for doing that, Rich.
Thank you, Rich. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
Public input will occur no earlier than 6:45 PM. First item of business is the approval of the April 12th, 2021 meeting minutes. Has everybody had an opportunity to review, and do we have any comments or clarifications?
Just have one question, maybe you can answer that on page 5. Oh, let me make sure it's
You
page
said
5.
page 5,
Let me
Kim?
just make sure of that. Sec, let me find my note. And it might be okay where it is. Oh, separate. All right, page 5, third paragraph. Not sure they're related. There's 2 sentences here about the continental paving. You know, that, and then it said he noted more information to come about the American Rescue Plan funding, what we were expecting to get for a town. Is that related or should that be a separate sentence? I don't know if the dollar amount wants to be with the recycling project. Or if that dollar amount is part of paying for that.
Cycling away.
Kim, I don't see where you're referring.
Okay,
Third
page-
paragraph.
Third
page
paragraph.
5, third paragraph, there's 2 sentences there.
Yeah,
The first sentence is talking about the recycling waste site distance
Yeah.
improvement project. And then the second sentence, I don't know if it's related or not. I don't think it is, but I just want to double check.
Third sentence.
It says he noted more information coming about the American Rescue Plan funding for the total of 840,000.
Yeah, that should be its own paragraph.
That should be its own.
Yeah, the
Okay,
two
that's
aren't
what I-
related.
I just think they would lump together by, and you know, people in the future would read
Okay.
that and say, oh, are they related? So I think that should just be separated.
Yep, I agree. So do we want it to be fixed and come back, or do we want to approve based off of that change?
Make a motion to approve it based off that change.
We have a motion by Mr. Lynch.
I'll second it.
We have a second by Mr. LaSalle's. Do we have any further discussion?
Oh, good pickup on that, Kim.
I just assumed that stumping cost $840,000. I knew things had changed.
All right, do we have any further discussion on the minutes? Hearing none, all in favor, Mr. Larry,
Aye.
Mr. LaSalle's,
All right.
Mr. Lynch,
Aye.
Ms. Queenan.
Aye.
I am also an aye. Motion carries 500. Next, we have the Deputy Town Clerk Tax Collector confirmation, Jennifer Glad. Ms. Brian, welcome.
Thank you. So I got several applications, resumes in the mail for the position, and I interviewed all of the candidates that sent in their resumes, and Jennifer had some great background. She had most of, I mean, other than being able to just do registrations, learning how to do that. She has customer service background. She has some office background. She has banking background. And I really felt that she would be a great candidate for this position. So we have her, she did start a week ago Monday. And now we just need the board's approval to get her sworn in and get her off to get some motor vehicle training and vital records training.
Okay, thank you. Do we have any questions of Ms. Brian?
No, I'm pretty sure she vetted this quite well.
Okay, great. We have a
I do
motion.
plan on having her come in to meet with the board. In the next couple weeks, she'll come in and, you know, kind of introduce herself and say hi to everybody. And, you know, we'll be going around to the other departments as well and kind of saying hi to everybody as well.
That'd be wonderful. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I'll move to confirm the town clerk tax collector's appointment of Jennifer God as deputy town clerk / tax collector.
We have a motion by Mr. Larry.
Second.
We have a second by Ms. Queenan. Do we have any further discussion?
Give it back.
All those in favor, Mr. Larry,
Aye.
Mr. LaSalle's,
All right.
Mr. Lynch,
Aye.
Ms. Queenan.
Aye.
I am also an aye. Motion carries 500. Thank you for all your efforts, Terry. We greatly appreciate it, and welcome to Jennifer on board.
Thank you. And thank you for all your support.
Have a
You're
great
welcome.
ever.
Thank
Take
you,
care
you
of
too.
Leo.
I'll
Take-
try.
Get him a hot cocoa.
Okay.
Tell him it's from me.
All right, I will. He's okay.
Bye-bye. Take care.
Aye.
Bye-bye.
The next item we have is the proclamation of Municipal Clerks Week. I guess it's the understanding that for the last 52 years, we've actually had a municipal clerks week. And in the past, it's kind of come and gone, and we really haven't spoken a lot about it. But this year, based off of everything the clerks had to do with the COVID pandemic, we wanted to make it a little more formalized and have a proclamation. Mr. Leary, would you like to read it, please?
Certainly. It's a proclamation, 52nd Annual Professional Municipal Clerks Week, May 2nd through May 8th, 2021. Whereas the office of the municipal clerk, a time-honored and vital part of the local government, exists throughout the world, and whereas the office of the municipal clerk is the oldest amongst public servants, and whereas the office of the municipal clerk provides the professional link between the citizens, the local governing bodies and agencies of government at other levels, and whereas municipal clerks have pledged to be ever mindful of their neutrality and impartiality, rendering equal service to all. Whereas the municipal clerk serves as the information center on functions of local government and community. Whereas municipal clerks continually serve to improve the administration of the affairs of the office of the municipal clerk throughout participation in education programs, seminars, workshops, and the annual meetings of their state, county, and professional organizations. Whereas it is most appropriate that we recognize the accomplishments of the office of the municipal clerk. Now, therefore, we, the Board of Selectmen of Litchfield, do recognize the week of May 2nd through May 8th, 2021 as Municipal Clerks Week, and further extend appreciation to our municipal clerk, Teresa L. Briand, Jennifer Glod, Patricia Texter, and to all municipal clerks for the vital services they perform and their exemplary dedication to the communities they represent. Dated this day of May 2021 by the Board of Selectmen of Litchfield, New Hampshire. It's a lot of reading.
That was, especially being in script like
But they
that.
are well worth it, Kurt.
They are.
I only lost my place twice.
Thank you, Terry, Jennifer, and Patty, for everything you do for the
Yes.
community. It's greatly appreciated.
Yes, thank you.
You guys did a great job navigating us through the whole COVID and keeping the office open for all our residents so they can get everything done. We greatly appreciate everything you do.
Thank you.
Should we buy him coffee or something?
Should.
Okay.
Bring them in something.
I'll chip in.
The week of May 2nd, right?
The week of May 2nd. Okay.
We'll do something special for them.
Just don't send Kevin.
That will be our special treat, not to send Kevin.
Oh, good.
Oh, hello. I'm gonna teach you how to do marriage licenses.
Yeah, you have many times. Thank you.
Thank you for everything. Next, we
Thank
have
you.
the Jared McDonald Police Officer Appointment. I believe we have Chief Sergeant and Officer McDonald be coming in here in a momentarily. Good evening. Welcome.
Have a seat.
Chief, always good to see you. Well, thank you. And
Sit right
yourself?
there, Jared. Yeah, you can sit right there. yeah. Either way.
You take his seat.
If you want to unmask, you can.
Great, thank
You
you
have
so
a field
much.
between you. Yeah.
Thank you for having us in tonight.
Pleasure to have
I
you.
know what it looks like.
Always a pleasure.
Get right into it.
Sure.
All right, well,
Floor is yours.
first of all, Mr. Chairman and honorable board members, I want to thank you for having this opportunity to speak before you and present a great candidate to join the Litchfield Police Department team. It's my honor to introduce Jared W. McDonald. I'd like to just share a little bit about Jared for those of you who might not know him. Jared is a lifetime resident of the town of Litchfield. He has something in common with a couple people in the room here. He lives with his father, his stepmom, and his step siblings. And Jared is a Campbell High School graduate. And his high school career was very impressive as I got to look through his background and learn a little bit about him. One of the things that stuck out to me is that Jared was a member of the National Honor Society. He was a member of the Tri-M Music Honor Society. He served as class president for both his junior and senior year. Great early development of leadership practices. I was very impressed. Jared graduated with a diploma with distinction. His grade point average was a 4.45. That confused me a little bit because I thought you could only have a 4.0, but as I learned a little bit more, he was in so many honors and AP classes that bumps his GPA up to that high level. So clearly it proves to me very early on, he's dedicated, he's committed, and he's focused. And I feel confident with that as I've learned to know Jared, spend a little bit of time with him, and again, through the thorough background investigation that we did. He's currently completing his associate's degree in criminal justice at Southern New Hampshire University. He has every intention to move forward to complete a bachelor's degree with a concentration in leadership. And he'd like to continue moving forward, and I encourage you, Jared, to really stick to this plan, is to obtain a master's degree in an emergency management related field. So again, something that really impressed me is in that mirrors the importance that I put on education, and that he's focused, he's driven, and wants to continue to develop himself, expand personally and professionally. All great qualities that we've identified in this young man. Jared will be joining our team with previous law enforcement experience. He's a New Hampshire certified part-time police officer, and he's been working with the Hampton Police Department for approximately the last 10 months. He went through the part-time academy. Again, and another great thing to highlight his commitment and dedication is that he received the academic award at his part-time academy. So that would be that he had the highest grade point average throughout all his peers. Typically, those class sizes can range from 30 to 50 officers. So great job and great commitment on that. And as I stated, he's been working for the Hampton Police Department. He's averaging approximately 50 to 55 hours a week up until yesterday when he completed his time with them. And I want you to know he was extremely and highly recommended by his lieutenant, his sergeant, and some other officers that we spoke with. In fact, the same day that we reached out to Jared to say, hey, we'd like you to move forward in the hiring process with Litchfield, we have a full-time position, Hampton Police Department did the same thing that day. So this young gentleman had a very tough choice to make in two very different types of communities. And I'm really excited that Jared chose the Litchfield Police Department to advance in his law enforcement career, serve the town where he was born and raised in. And I think that this would be a great fit. So Jared, I really appreciate you making the decision to come on board. Real quick, I would just highlight, I know many of you are familiar with the hiring process, but there's a written test, there is a physical agility test, there is an oral board interview, there's a chief's interview, and then there's an extensive background investigation. During that background investigation too, he's required to complete a medical, a psychological evaluation, and anything we threw at Jared to try to do, or any questions we had, he was articulate in his response. He was punctual. When we needed documentation or information, he got it right to us. And so I've really seen some great excitement, and I'm excited to ask the board for your support and blessing to appoint Jared to the department as a full-time probationary police officer. And I'm more than happy to answer any questions, or if you have any questions for Jared, please feel free. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Chief. Do we have any questions for the chief or for Jared?
I'd just like to make a comment that the beach at Dara Pond is a little wilder than Hampton Beach. But
It has been.
good job, buddy.
Thank you, sir.
Appreciate you coming back.
Hank, I'm happy to be here.
It was a tough call. The beach in the summertime in Hampton is probably better, but here is different.
Definitely.
I think it's fantastic that that's grown up in this town is going to come back and to you for grabbing them.
Very fortunate.
I feel the same. It's great having a lifelong
life.
member back, serving our community, giving back. So it's fantastic. And thank you for the background. I mean, that was Great to hear all your accomplishments up to this point.
Thank you, sir.
I think very well qualified. At such a young age. This is wonderful to see.
Yeah.
He has
Thank you,
many
Ms.
years
Quinn.
ahead of him here.
Jared, just as for information. I wasn't.
He was hatched. Parents tried to give him away, he kept coming back.
Got a sense of humor. You
Oh,
gotta have it.
yes, sir.
Ben knows that.
Correct?
Flagpole's the best yet.
So what's the will of the board?
I make a motion, we accept the recommendation.
Thank you, Mr.
We have
Gonzalez.
a motion by Mr. LaSalle's.
So,
We have a second by Mr. Lynch. Any discussion? All those in favor, Mr. Larry,
Aye.
Mr. LaSalle's,
Aye.
Mr. Lynch,
aye.
Ms. Queenan.
Aye.
I am also an aye. Motion carries 500. Welcome to Team Litchfield.
Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chief, for everything.
So
You didn't
Great
get too
job as
far,
always.
did you, in life?
Town clerk said she'd certify this tomorrow, so he'll get sworn in before he starts. Is it okay if I leave this with Karen to pass around
course.
for your signature?
Yep, definitely. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank
Take
you all
care.
for your
Stay
time. I
safe.
appreciate
Have a
it.
great evening, everyone.
Your travel time is now a little shorter.
Just a little.
And I will say too, I thought it was, we got three of his, well, maybe they cut up, but there's three of the Hampton employees that worked with him that
Yeah.
are on tonight.
Alright.
You Crowley, Tuttle, and Better. So
Oh, yeah.
thank you, folks, and his dad and family are on too. So
Oh, really?
Would anyone on like to make some comments before they depart?
The beach won't be the same without Jared this summer.
Yeah, well, we're gonna really miss him. He's a great candidate for you guys.
Yeah,
Good.
thank you for letting us have him.
Yeah, thanks for giving them up for us.
It was hard.
It was a tough one, but we got one last shift with him this weekend, and always good.
Great, thank you so much.
Stay safe.
Thanks,
Mr.
guys.
McDonald, would you like to say anything on behalf of your son?
He's muted.
Yep.
I just want to say that in another life, I work at Campbell High School as a substitute, and I remember Jared very fondly.
When did you graduate now?
2018.
Holy. Wow.
Yeah.
What's good that you're here back in town.
Yeah, I'm happy to be back.
And the commute time, like I said. Oh, beautiful.
45 minutes down to about 2.
That's great.
No.
Thank you, everyone. We
Thank you,
appreciate
guys.
it.
Thanks, Chief.
Take care.
Have a good evening.
Green pickup in the parking lot. Leave him a little.
Give me your first citation. Seeing that it is 6:55, I'd like to open it up to public input. Do we have any members of the public that would like to provide input this evening?
Mr. Chair, I don't see anybody coming off of mute.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Brunel. We did have one piece of correspondence that did come in. It was received on April 15th, 2021. It was addressed to Administrator Brown, and I was asked if I could read it into record, please. Dear Administrator Brown, I am writing to formally express my disappointment in the clear-cut deforestation of the town's recent purchase of the property adjacent to the access road to the recycling center. I do understand that you approximately recommended the work on the project and that the Board of Selectmen did approve same. I also understand that Continental Paving has graciously once again agreed to address our needs. You wrote to me indicating that they will improve the site distance at the intersection of Recycling Way and Hillcrest Road and the rough grading of the disturbed portions of the site. Given that the planning board in 2018 developed a long-range master plan approved by the Board of Selectmen in January of 2019, a review of that document may be in order now. The plan's stated goals, in part, were to preserve the rural character of the town, particularly our farmlands, forest historic buildings, and elements including cemeteries and monuments. I think that you could have asked a team consisting of members from the Board of Cemetery Trustees, the Historical Society, the Historic Commission, the Planning Board, and citizens who have demonstrated via town beautification volunteerism their interest in preserving our rural character, to join forces with you as our town administrator and address the practical needs of the exiting from the recycling center. A judicious cutting of beautiful hemlocks could have provided a buffer when looking northwest of the Hillcrest Cemetery. Many stakeholders might have come up with the options that did not include the complete raising of the land. Our desire to meet the above stated goals of the planning board's master plan before the fact would have been the best example of participatory government. I look forward to your leadership in this matter and will wait to hear from you and members of the Board of Select Persons. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Sincerely, Gail Barringer. Thank you, Ms. Barringer, for your input, and we will take it under advisement and we will discuss it. Anyone have any comments based on the input?
I will say Gail has talked to me. One of the things that Troy and I briefly talked about, very briefly, landscaping and buffering.
Yep.
We had, I believe you may have had some discussion too. That's something that's gonna be designed. We can maintain the view and separate that. That's what I had mentioned to her too. So that's something that's going to have to be important to dress up that area and that visual site.
Definitely. So from what I understand is after the grading is done, we're going to have beautification teams that will come with a few different designs to input.
Yeah.
And then we as a board can decide which path we'd like to go. And, I think we should get the input of the cemetery trustees because we do have the Hillcrest, cemetery right across the way.
I think, didn't Troy say that he reached out to them?
Yes, he did.
Be a part of it?
Yes,
Okay,
Yep,
good.
he reached out to be part of it, so.
It's a great idea.
Okay, if we have no other public input, I'd like to close public input. The next item we have is the Old Town Hall roof replacement. So I believe, if you remember at the last meeting, we're notified that shingles were blowing off the roof of the Old Town Hall, and that we had asked Administrator Brown if he would reach out to the same contractor that just did the recycling center building, which did a great job, and he did. We received a quote from iRoof for the replacement of the Old Town Hall roof for the amount of $8,000. They'll be using ice and water shield, 50-year shingles, 10-year labor warranty, and they could start the work within the next few weeks if we choose. The $8,000 would come from the Building Systems Trust Fund balance, which is $59,495.
Did they say how far up they're going with the ice and water?
I believe when we reported last time, it was either 7 or 9 feet.
they go up 6 to 8 feet today. It depends on the roll. The reason why, they used to just go 3.
Yep.
But the ice stands with the soffit, you want to go up at least a minimum 6.
Yeah, I know when my house was done, it went up 9.
Tell to them.
It's because of the soffits.
Clarification.
Yep, on how far up they'll go. I think they're gonna do the same thing they did at the recycling center, and that was either 6 or 9 that they went up on that one.
Yep, it was.
They're a good company too.
Do a
They
great job.
tremendous Job, yeah.
When we re-roofed this building, only gone up 3 feet, but you got a large soffit. You get ice dams all the time. Water backing up. So we changed that. We put a metal edge so it comes off. But also we added some ice and water shield up inside that too.
It really
We
helps.
wouldn't get the dripping area. Metal helped.
So what's the will of the board? We would like to make a motion to accept this work.
I move to authorize iRoof to replace the Old Town Hall roof in the amount of $8,000 and to waive the purchasing policy requirements in accordance with Section 9, case-by-case basis. Said funds to come from the Building Systems Trust Fund.
We have a motion by Ms. Queenan.
I'll second the motion.
We have a second by Mr. LaSalle's. Do we have any further discussion? Hearing none. Mr. Larry? Mr. LaSalle's?
Aye.
Mr. Lynch?
Aye.
Ms. Queenan?
Aye.
I am also an aye. Motion carries 5-0. Next item we have is the Nashua Regional Energy aggregation program. Now, I hope somebody's a little more up to speed on this than I am.
I thought you said aggravation.
Aggregation. So we do have, so right now, the current supplier is Constellation Energy. The contract expires in November. The current rate's about 7 cents per kilowatt hour. Town has participated in this program for about 10 years, and we save about 65,000, we saved over 65,000 since the start of the participation. The program has been seamless and we've had no problems. So I guess NRPC Energy is reaching out to see if we want to continue to participate within this program.
I don't see a problem. It does work. We've had it here for. Does, it just saving some money.
Looks like it's every 3 years it comes back around.
Yep.
I just wonder, will we get a new rate or is the rate going to be 7 cents per kilowatt hour?
Yeah, right now it says the current rate, so let's see if there's any data here and how often they look at it.
I mean, I don't feel comfortable when it, okay, so the current rate is 7 cents, but is that rate guaranteed for another 3 years or could it go up?
So here it says under the cost portion of the agreement, standard powers fee for the service shall be 0.001 cent per kilowatt hour, the fee, and shall be included in the cost of energy that NRPC members pay to the energy supplier or utility as applicable. The budget covers consulting costs for Standard Power of America in legal review and contracts by selected attorneys. Standard Power may also help in data collection of bills and utility forms as needed. Standard Power will also enroll the NRPC member in hydroelectric group net metering agreement, providing additional energy cost savings of 0.002 cents per kilowatt hour. So it really doesn't speak to how they set the rate for us.
Could have somebody come in here.
So they do have a-
NRPC and explain it.
Kim, is that, do you ever discuss that?
Just never came up at our meetings.
So there's also another attachment here that basically shows the savings by town. Amherst saved 108,000, Brookline approximately 64, Hollis 75,000, Hudson 563,000, Litchfield almost 67,000, Lanesboro about 16,000, Mason 6,000, and so forth.
Do we know if the school district also participates in this?
I do not believe
They don't?
I do not.
It's
believe
just
they
the
do.
I
town.
wonder where they get their power or who administers theirs.
In the Q&A section, it says, what will the electric rate be? And it says, until the proposals are received, it's unknown what it will be. Our energy advisor, Standard Power, will also be enrolling the group in hydroelectric net metering, which will further reduce the price by 0.002 kilowatt hour. So they have to get all the bids in before they set the price, I believe.
Then it says, is it possible that aggregation could end up paying a higher electricity rate than the default utility? And it says no. So no matter what, we're either going to be even or we're going to have a cost savings.
That's correct. We've never seen it go up.
At that point, I don't see what
So the most we'll pay,
will be the standard rate.
will that be 7 cents?
It depends on whatever it is. So what they'll do is they go out and they bid on the work. So they'll go around and see where the cheapest cost is, and that's who they'll make an agreement with. So once the electric utilities got deregulated, they were able to have competition.
But it just seems to me that before we make a commitment, we need to know what the price is, right?
So it looks like every 12 months, it gets renegotiated. So just because we sign in now, it's a 3-year deal, and, next year we could have a different rate.
But all in all, if you look at the collected towns with it, they've all saved,
Everybody's saved, yeah.
okay?
I think we've done well over the last 3 years.
Yes, but Kevin,
It's okay.
we're saving over Eversource. But everybody saves over Eversource. Somebody else might save 100,000. See what I'm saying?
Yep. I understand what you're saying.
What I'd like to do is to wait. I mean, we're not under any timeline here other than November.
Correct.
So what I'd like to do is wait before we make a commitment. Till Troy gets back and we can dig into this a little bit more. I just don't feel comfortable. It looks like we're committing, but there's not, what are we committing to? You know, I don't,
Okay.
Well, it states here, if we wish to participate, we need to have it signed by May 3rd.
yeah.
There's a contact number here.
Yep, there is. We do not hesitate to contact me at 603-417-6575.
Mason Twombly,
Yes. Would you like to reach out with them, Mr. LaSalle, and
That's what our-
I could. Um,
we could make a motion that we approve it we approve that Administrator Brown could sign for us pending your discussion. That way, if you do speak with him and are comfortable, we could have Troy sign for us.
What's an MOU?
Memorandum of Understanding.
I just, I mean, is everybody else comfortable with this? I mean, if everybody else is comfortable with it,
Based on past history, the savings we have, knowing that we're not going to be more than the standard rate, I am comfortable with it.
Same here.
Living in this industry, that is a lot of times people do come together and they buy more power as a group in order to get a lower cost.
I just wonder why the school isn't.
That's a great question.
Because there are some.
Because it does say by purchasing as an aggregation, municipality and school districts can offer electrical supplies a larger demand. So it does seem like the school could be part of it.
You got Mason, Milford, Pelham Wyndham schools,
Yeah.
Mineborough, Wyndham.
Been going on for a while. Program.
Something we could throw out to them if they want to jump on. I share Richard's
Mr. Cutter, do
concern.
you know where the school gets their power?
Supplier. I do know the rates, and Eversource charges 10 cents per kilowatt hour. I know that because I just recently negotiated my rates. And I also know that the energy suppliers historically have offered 3-year rate locks. That is no longer beginning this year, where they're only offering 1-year rate locks, which is why it's auto renewing every year. 7 cents kilowatt hour is actually a pretty darn good rate.
Thank you, Chairman Cutter. Appreciate it.
Welcome.
Hey, welcome.
Thanks for the input.
I wonder what the schools pay.
I can't, good point, Rich, we don't know.
Yeah, I know. You know,
I mean, just,
we're in a situation here. I mean, I don't want to hold everything up when we got a November 3rd.
You have
May
to
3rd.
decide by May 3rd.
May 3rd.
I mean,
So
May
it's a
3rd,
week,
yeah.
Troy's gone till May 3rd, so.
Yeah. I like what Steve just said, because we've done it for so long, we saved each time. All the other municipalities have, granted, they're going to the 1 year. But, okay, it's just 1 year, we're out again, we're not signing for 3. But what I'm thinking here, let's go with it. And we'll give Troy permission to sign for it, okay? Rich, in the meantime, if you can get a hold of that person in there or something, help you with, so we do understand standing on it. I understand what you're thinking, but we've always used this before, and I've seen it, that's why I'm saying it.
All righty then. I feel okay. I'll try to get hold of this guy and from there.
Motion to approve it pending just conversation with this gentleman.
You have Troy. The deadline, give him.
Yep.
Sign it, if not back, Stephen.
Okay, we have a motion by Mr. Lynch,
Second it.
we have a second by Mr. Larry. Any further discussion? All those in favor, Mr. Larry,
Aye.
Mr. LaSalle's,
Aye.
Mr. Lynch,
Aye.
Ms. Queenan.
Aye.
I am also an aye. Motion carries 500.
That's who's next.
Next, we have administrator report. Ms. White.
I have nothing.
Okay, that's short.
Hey, thank
I
you.
have a long week ahead of
Not
me.
even listed there.
Nope.
I knew that was coming.
All right, we'll go with the selectmen reports, Ms. Queenan.
Yeah, okay. The planning board, we're still working on the conceptual phase of the 64-unit townhomes at Dark Hole Farms. They are trying to find solutions to move the existing home. They're open to it. They're still exploring that. They're also trying to see if the land they're not using on the other side of the electrical lines can be used for conservation, community garden, or agricultural. The next meeting will be Tuesday, May 4th. It's a public meeting and the meeting details will be on the town website. As far as the Nashua Regional Planning Commission, they are opening their doors back up officially to the public starting May 10th, 2021. That's the first bullet. The second thing is NRPC will begin to offer DOT engineering review services. So before people start submitting projects, they can actually get the time and cost from DOT beforehand, so there's no surprises later on the cost and time. The next full commissioner meeting will be Wednesday, June 16th, 2021 at 7 p.m. It's also a public meeting. Meeting details will be listed on their website at www.nashuarpc.org. I will also say there are other things that have come up, which we'll talk about maybe at the next meeting, but one thing that will be coming up is the definition of what an urbanized area is. Before it was based on your population density, usually 5,000 to 10,000, you would be considered urban. Now they're going to start putting into that equation housing units per density as well. Again, they'll give me more definition on this. What they're saying is they're predicting Litchfield will not make the cutoff this time to be considered urban, or Hollis or Wilton, many towns on the corridor of 101A. The reason is when you bordered a town like us with Hudson, we had a 2.5-mile buffer that we could count some of the population in there, and that is going to contract down to a mile. So if your area is less than 250,000 people, which we have Nashua, we have everybody in this area, they predict our region with these new definitions will contract. And if you are not considered an urban town, your funding will drop. Don't have any data more than that to report. I think that's all I can say there. Let me see if I missed anything. Yeah, I will save the rest for our next meeting. That's all I have to report.
Okay, thank you. The next recreation meeting is tomorrow evening, so at this time I have nothing to report. Mr. Larry?
Once again, in May, we appointed Mr. Taylor to fill in as a vacated seat until the March elections of next year. That's about it.
Mr. Lynch?
Nothing on conservation, haven't gone to the meeting, haven't had a meeting.
Okay, perfect. Mr. LaSalle's?
Just a couple of things. I know that we continued the mask mandate for town hall and the recycling center
Until May 2nd.
until May 2nd. Will it automatically expire on May 2nd? Or do we have to take further action?
I believe it automatically expires because that's the date we put on it with the action we took.
Because it sounds as if they're going to take away the mask, the outdoor mask mandate is going to be withdrawn by the CDC. So that's kind of interesting, you know.
And we still have what, the Safer at Home until May 7th?
I'm
think
not sure
that's
what
one
all
of
the
his-
dates are, but the other thing is, and this, at this point, I suppose is just a rumor, but I heard that one of the wells in Litchfield that is part of Hudson tested positive for PFOA and was shut down.
Heard that one, yeah.
Ducharme well, and that's, again, that's nothing official, but that's what I was told.
Where's that well located?
Did you come up nesting cage?
Is that off Talent?
It's off Talent. No, it's not.
Nothing.
Duchamp, well, yes, it is. It is off the Woodhawk in that area, down there. Okay, where
It's over by,
Duchamp had
by
the
Dara?
open. Yeah,
The backside of Dara,
backside of there.
through the blueberry bushes.
Who put them there?
But that, I just wonder what the implications of that are.
What was the count? We can follow up from the DES on that the next day. That's simply making a call or dependent check, and we can find that out right away.
Probably should have the health officer,
He's on vacation.
deputy health officer.
I'll call.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Lynch.
But that sort of falls in line with what the unofficial results that you heard about too, Robert.
Yes, yeah. Creeping further south.
Yeah, and there was a gentleman from the state that returned my call and said that they will be expanding their test area. Should be receiving stuff in the mail.
They tested all the way down beside us, where I am. They put in the line. That area is from Pinecrest to Broadview. Okay, that's it. That's the only, and then you got a few things south.
Interesting.
But that certainly could impact, if that circle keeps getting bigger, that impacts a lot more homeowners.
It certainly does.
Yeah, and taxpayers with the rental on the fire hydrants. That's ridiculous what's going on out there now.
Like, what are you talking about?
We're paying $500,000 a year from tax base,
More than that now.
okay, more than that, okay, on the rental of hydrants.
Oh, I know that.
That's drives me nuts.
We've discussed that at length, haven't we, Mr.?
550.
Yeah. We had some new ones come online.
And then,
You know, and if the impact circle gets larger, that means Pennachuck's gonna keep coming further south, which just keeps creeping everything up.
Probably add another 100 or 2 fire hydrants.
or at least not 100. Well, if they're 1,000 feet apart,
It's
but
one
they're
every
doing
quarter mile,
800
so-
feet here. Should you go 1,000 feet? There's enough hose in the trucks.
Mhm.
Okay, but they're 800 feet from what I'm measuring. So that tells you something.
Not good news.
Rains, it pours.
Anything else, Mr. LaSalle's?
No, nothing else.
All right, thank you. Since we have no other business, since we already discussed it, we do have one other item this evening. It's a non-public session under RSA 91A:32A, dismissal, promotion, or compensation of any public employee. We have a motion to go into non-public. Motion by Mr. Leary. Roll call, Ms. Queenan.
Aye.
I am also an aye, Mr. Leary.
Aye.
Mr. Lynch.
Aye.
Mr. LaSalle's.
Aye.
We are now in non-public. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in, and I hope everyone stays well.
Folks.